Hello and welcome to ForestFanTV. Steven here, and I've got Rish Baruah with me. He's going to be joining me throughout the season. We're going to be talking all things Forest. Rish, welcome.
Thank you, Stephen.
We're going to be looking back at Forest season so far. We've just had the international break, so it seems like a good time to sort of reflect on...
Undertake what I like to call psychoanalysis.
Yeah, psychoanalysis. I like that. So it's a good time to have a look at and take stock of how things are going. 17 games gone. How do you think the season's been going so far?
Well, obviously it's been a bit polarised, hasn't it? Lots of wins, followed by lots of draws, followed by a few defeats. And, of course, that got everyone worried. But I've always said that, as far as I'm concerned, the mark of a manager isn't how he does when he's winning, it's how he reacts when things don't go so well. And in that respect, there have been good points and bad points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart Pearce, after the run without wins, safe to say he came in for a fair bit of criticism from some sections
more than
of
you'd
the
expect,
support.
considering what a legend he is.
Yeah.
I mean, having said that, I think... he maintained his dignity off the pitch. Certainly in the interviews, he didn't shy away from anything. I think some people did question his tactical knowledge a little bit. Sometimes with justification, sometimes when we were playing that match where we played with no strikers, for instance, against Brentford, and it's like, what's all that about? But having said that, I defy any team in this division to lose basically their three key leaders and not struggle a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, how much of that... I mean, because the football did go downhill from the beginning of the season, how much of that is down to a lack of confidence? Because, like you say, you take three key players out of the team like Reid, Cohen and Hobbs, and then add in the fact that you don't win a couple of games, I think the confidence will drain from the team and the playing style will be affected.
Yeah, and of course, I understand why Mancien's been made captain in the absence of Reid and Cohen, but by his own admission and by Stuart's own admission, he's not a shouter and he's not... So sometimes you just need someone who can kind of grab things by the scruff of the neck, and I think we did miss that a little bit. However, the fact that even if it's too late in many matches, the fact that the team would pick up for that, it's very rare for Forest not to finish a game reasonably strongly, even if it's too late to rescue the result. And, of course, that paid dividends against Norwich. Yeah,
of course, yeah. Having gone behind fairly early, been behind for most of the game, the team kept plugging away. I think they were the better team against Norwich and deserved the win. Yeah. It was just even better that it came so late on.
Yes, that feels good, let's be honest. But I think the key thing was that Forest, they were under the cosh in the first half, and that was entirely down to confidence. As soon as they started well for 15 minutes, and then as soon as Norwich scored, heads went down, and they struggled for the rest of that half. What was really important is in the second half, they came out with their heads up, and you just knew if we'd equalise, then we'd win. That's the way it felt to me.
Yeah.
So to do that, and of course the thing is, Mikel Antonio, half the time I suspect he doesn't know what he's doing. He's we like to think of him in our house as being the new Marlon Harewood, in that he's got amazing ability, he's got huge amounts of pace, but sometimes the body goes faster than the brain.
Yeah.
But when it works, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, he's been one of the shining lights of the season so far, him and Assombalonga. I've been surprised with the impact Antonio's made, because always knew he was a good player, but his previous form's not suggested that he could score the goals he has.
He's never really put runs together, has he?
No.
When he was playing for Wednesday and for Reading. But Assombalonga, I think it's strange actually. I can't remember last time a lower division signing, as it were, got people so excited. And to me, he's justified all that praise and more, because even when he's not been scoring and not playing well, his head has never gone down. And I've always liked having a Mardy striker around, but actually it's really refreshing to have someone who's actually a really sunny disposition and is willing to keep plugging away rather than just sort of doing a Berbatov and just sulking.
Yeah, and you look at the way he plays as a striker and the goals he's got, for the first time in a good 10 years, probably since David Johnson was at the club, that we've got a striker who if he gets a chance he'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is why strikers are so expensive. That's why we've paid £5.5 million for someone who's from a division below.
Yeah.
That's a definite success story. I think, if we're talking about contrasts, if that's a success, then, a bit further back has been the real problem. And, apart from, obviously, personally for Chrissy Cohen to be injured so devastatingly for the third time in 4 years, the team has really missed him. Just that driving presence, someone who will, like I say, pick up the rest of the team, will cover every blade of grass and will, just by sheer effort, it wills the rest of his teammates on.
Yeah. Yeah, looking to the future now, Forest as it stands, time of recording, 11th in the Championship after that Norwich win. Do you think that's the result that can turn the season around for us?
I wouldn't say turn the season around because it's a tight division. So, if you're asking the question, have Forest fallen out of contention or are Forest back in contention? Well, we were always in contention, but then there's about 20 teams in the division who are. So it's a bit simplistic to say, that's going to turn it around. What I will say is winning going into the international break, having gone through a long run of games without a win, could be very important psychologically, especially bearing in mind that we don't have that on-pitch leadership for a few more months yet.
Yeah. So to sum it up, things still looking encouraging as the season goes on. You think confident that we can get back into the top 6 in the promotion picture?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what I will temper my previous comment by saying expectation rises very, very quickly. So obviously we had a blistering start to the season, better than anyone could have expected, by the manager's admission, even better than he would have expected, and it takes longer to come down. Let's be realistic, okay? People say, Forest has spent £7 million, but we also recouped £6.5 million for 2 players in what looks like an absolute disaster to start with and has ended up being quite a shrewd move to sell the 2 young players but keep them on loan. Yeah. So, if we look at it in that sense, anything can happen in this division. It's the tightest it's been for years. Of course Forest are in contention. Of course they are.
Yeah. Forest going to Molineux on Saturday. They're playing Wolves. We're going to have our previews for that game going up on the channel soon. How do you think the season has gone so far? Get in touch with us on Twitter. That's at ForestFanTV. Also check out the website www.ForestFanTV.com. And don't forget to click the subscribe button to get all of our latest videos. Thanks to Rish from both of us. It's goodbye.